Beautiful morning, you the sunshine, my morning babe, nothing water. Uh-oh, somebody honking at somebody. Why they doing the honking? Bad manners. Why they be doing the honkings? Ooh, yeah. Beautiful day in Culver City. I love it. Okay, so some thoughts. Okay, so the philosophy of volatility. So why does this matter and stuff like that? So the first thought is, everyone in modern day life, they want to strip out the volatility out of life, right? But actually the truth is, the more volatility you got, the more vitality you got, right? And so the reason why MicroStrategy stock and MSTR, Michael Saylor is the GOAT, is so good is that because it is volatility. It's like you're gonna play with nuclear fission, you want the free electricities, the free powers, it's a good idea, right? Oh, check out this new Laurel Grove. Oh yeah. Good progress. Check it out. Yeah, Culver City is the futures. So nice. And I think it's kind of an interesting sentiment because I think what people are trying to do is strip out the volatility out of life. Now, this seems like a good idea in the short term, but bad idea in the long term. Why is this? So the first reason is you want and you need, and actually in fact, the smart strategy is to crave volatility because you want, the ultimate goal is to have greater performance, more powers, and the more volatility, the better, right? Because with more volatility, you could reach higher highs, right? Which is a good thing. So super interesting. So the current MicroStrategy announcement on the 30th yesterday is essentially very interesting. So essentially, Michael Saylor, MSTR is levered essentially 150% Bitcoin, which means that actually the cool thing, what I think Michael is trying to do is get 100 to actually outperform Bitcoin, which is super fascinating, right? And then I just kind of have my own turbo thought, which is, what if in fact the strategy in the path in life is trying to create your own MicroStrategy? So, essentially to accumulate your own Bitcoin holdings to the max and use MicroStrategy as your cash cow, maybe your fixed income, engine, tool, whatever, right? To power the whole beast, right? So the simple strategy in life is you ride up the MicroStrategy stock, and when it's up, you sell high and then use that monies to buy more Bitcoin, right? And so the ultimate strategy is that you want to create your own war chest. So what's kind of interesting and fascinating, if I think about this critically, is, oh wow, look at the light, it's so beautiful. So beautiful, I love it. Wow, beautiful morning lights. I guess also the upside of waking up is to see the beauty of the world, right? The world's a beautiful place, guys. Look at the way that the light is shining. It's kind of so beautiful. Yeah, love it. Create your own movie studio, okay? So I woke up this morning feeling insanely effing good, right? So I think the strategy of creating your own MicroStrategy, right, is you want to accumulate as many Bitcoins as possible. He or she or the entity with the most Bitcoins shall win. So applied more practically. So what that then means is the goal of your life, at least financially, right, is to accumulate as many Bitcoins as possible, right? So you know. Okay, so I have a new goal, right? Assuming 21 is a magical number, try to get at least 21 Bitcoins. Then times 2, you get 42 Bitcoins, 64, 100, etc., right? So just keep stacking the Bitcoins is kind of a good idea. And I guess then you had to be creative entrepreneurship, creative capital. It's like, how can you creatively get more monies, get more Bitcoins, right? And, you know, maybe institutional leverage, other financial tools, leverages, etc. And, you know, sell services or stuff and then use that money to buy Bitcoin is kind of a good idea. So what's kind of interesting and tricky is because there's a hard cap of 21 million Bitcoins, right? Is in theory, if one entity or somebody has the Bitcoin, I mean, in theory, you could buy it from them, but if they never intend on selling it, so let's do let's do a practical example, right? So, you know, MicroStrategy, let's say it has around 250,000 Bitcoins, right? If their treasury company never intends to sell, right? This becomes interesting because, let us say, you know, MicroStrategy ends up getting the mythical Nakamoto, which is 1 million Bitcoin. So let's say they own 1 million Bitcoins, right? If their intention is to never, ever sell a single Bitcoin, then what that then means is even if you offer them $1 trillion for a Bitcoin, they actually might not sell it to you. So then things become quite interesting because obviously the other open market, people are going to want to trade their Bitcoins for US dollars. But that's kind of a foolish short-term thing because if at the end of the day, Bitcoin is going to become the only world supreme currency, then yeah, the goal is to stack as many Bitcoins as humanly possible, right? And people are like, oh, you're gonna make money from it, right? So some interesting things with what Michael is saying is, you know, like, let's say you buy MicroStrategy stock, MSTR, and then, you know, in the future, they'll give you a yield, right? So you can just park your monies in there and then they'll just give you back monies. And I don't know, I think it's so exciting. Like yesterday I did my first earnings call. I registered for the event, watched it on Zoom. And I don't know, I think everyone kind of needs something to look forward to. I think a life in which you're not optimistic about the future is like, what reason do you have to keep living and wake you up in the morning? And this is where I feel that perhaps Bitcoin is almost kind of some like sort of like ethical imperative. I don't know, I think it just gives hope to people. I mean, it gives them reason to wake up in the morning and stuff like that, right? And I think the reason why I believe in Bitcoin for millennials is our generation, we were taught that we could change the world, blah, blah, right? And then now that you're in your late 30s, early 40s, people start to get jaded and dissuaded and they're like, oh, I can't do anything no more, right? And so then people kind of lose their hope, their joy, etc. So yeah, and I think this is the impetus between, you know, kind of one of the new directions I'm doing is, I call it Black Eagle Capital, you know, black, all black everything, you know, black canvas, blank slate. Eagle, because Eagles, I'm an Eagle Scout. Also, Eagle is the symbol of America, right? And so, yeah, if you're interested in, I guess, learning more, I mean, obviously go to my blog or shoot me a message, eric@erickim.com. I'm essentially going to try to create some sort of like hedge fund. You know, obviously I'm new to this, so I'm, you know, there's no playbook yet. But the generalized idea is kind of interesting is, you know, I'm thinking about doing workshops and offering advice and stuff like that. I mean, the ultimate hedge you do, which is super simple. You just do it yourself, based on your Fidelity accounts, your investing things, whatever, right? You just buy MicroStrategy stock, 100% invested for your Roth IRAs, traditional accounts, whatevs, right? And just download Coinbase to your phone, buy Bitcoins with your traditional banking account, whether it's Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, etc. And you just lever those two entities, right? And I think, what's the point of being a fund manager? I'll just be like, so I think the reason why I'm kind of well adjusted is, I don't know anyone with bigger balls than me. And I've gone through all of the economic poverty, blah, blah. So obviously I'm annoyed, right? Price of something goes up, I'm more annoyed than anything. I don't get angry or sad about it. I'm like, why is it so damn slow, right? And so anyways, as a consequence, things become interesting because then I'm just kind of a conduit for your worries, right? He's like, oh, losing money. He's like, don't worry, just trust me, just take your time, right? And I think the primary issue at hand is nobody is patient anymore. And patience is a virtue when you have long-term greedy gains, right? You don't want to be, the analogy is, you don't want to be chasing pennies in front of a steamroller, right? So you don't want to chase a $500 gain here, a $1,000 gain here. Even a $10,000 gain is kind of chumps change to us. I would say the new bar, if you think about PRs or financial personal records, right? Whenever you're selling your MicroStrategy stock or whatever, right? You want to gain, you want to actually capture at least a $15,000 yield, in my opinion. $10,000 on low end, but still my new personal record, magical numbers at hand is $15K. If it's not $15K, we're just wait, be patient. Then 15K to 20K to 50K, 100K, whatever it is, right? And I kind of like it because it then becomes financial PRs, and the goal is you never want to sell your assets, your monies, because you want to see the number going up. Hey Ash, did you catch them all? Hi Pikachu. So ultimately the goal is, you never want to see the number go down. So you essentially keep stacking it because that's the goal, right? And you never buy stupid things. You never put yourself in some sort of financial downside because you want to use all the creative economic levers to your advantage. And this is where kind of this Spartan stoic philosophy investing is kind of useful, because the ultimate goal is you live a super poor, live super insanely effing frugally, and then just put 90% of your money, your income, into Bitcoin. It's pretty simple thought, right? So you don't buy yourself nothing new. Just live like a poor person. I kind of like this aesthetic of this sparse, spare, bare bones, super jacked, yoked Spartan. So I guess what it is look like a Spartan demigod, be super effing jacked, and have the $1 billion worth of Bitcoin.